Welcome to the Callin Your Bluff podcast. It's me, Braden, one of your hosts with Blake, Chris, and Jeremy.
What up?
Hello, guys.
And Jeremy didn't say anything. Introduce yourself, Jeremy.
What's happening, guys?
Yeah. And
he's shy.
Yeah. This is the first real podcast we've done. The intro, and we're not gonna get too analytical on this. We're not like the most pro.
We're not trying to be reporters.
Yeah, we're not reporters. It's just four buddies talking football. We're gonna go over the local scene a little bit, but more so we're gonna go over the national news of the NFL, some college football, maybe some NBA in there, MLB in there.
Some betting.
But mostly NFL football. But I think we're gonna start off with a little bit of the local scene. We're gonna go over. I guess we'll start with the LSU quarterback battle. Chris, you wanna lead us off on your take?
Before we start, I just want to say that I think it's messed up how Brian Kelly got Miles Brennan to come back. I mean, everything we've seen coming out of Baton Rouge is, Jaden Daniels and Nussey are basically rotating with the ones. Miles Brennan's not really there yet. He has been better as of late, but I just feel like I don't see why you grab a guy back out of the transfer portal just for him to come sit the bench. I mean, he's been at LSU. He's done his time, 5 years now?
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to be able to go somewhere and be successful if he's not the guy.
You don't think that he's going to be the one that's going to start week one?
I really don't. I mean, I could be wrong, and I don't know. I don't see him starting.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I feel like he might have transferred a few weeks ago if he wasn't led to believe that he had a good chance to be a starter. But then you see 2 weeks in a row, Nussey and Jaden Daniels has been splitting first team reps. So maybe it's just the way Brian Kelly runs his practice, and we know it's a QB battle right now. So
yeah,
knows?
Every time he's asked, he said there's no separation yet. But I guess we'll see. I mean, the season's not for another few weeks, so a lot can change.
Yeah.
That just right now, that's what I think.
I feel like we don't really know how Brian Kelly runs like his practice right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's far-fetched to say that maybe Daniels and Nussey are competing for QB2. What if Miles is already the starter in the program? Like, people know in the program, like,
right.
Hey, that's the guy.
Yeah.
But we need somebody just in case he's not the guy.
He's not the guy.
Right.
I find it hard to believe that Brennan would come back not knowing if he would be the starter. I think he knows 100% he's going to be the dude. It is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen it at any school where you have a guy who is supposed to be the starter, but he doesn't even get the first team reps in the first week of fall camp.
Right.
So
yeah, it's got to shatter a little confidence, I think. It kind of concerns me. I guess you can say it's kind of a rebuilding year, but as LSU fans hiring Brian Kelly, we want to see at least 9-10 wins.
We will.
Yeah, hopefully.
We will.
But I was kind of thinking last night, what if he's going for a 2 QB system? Jane Daniels is pretty fast. He could play like a Taysom role.
Right.
yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily even call that a 2 QB system. I want Daniels to be in that role regardless of where he is on the depth chart, because
right.
he has like legit 4.4 speed on the field. So you can't leave him off the field when he's a dynamic player like
right.
that.
And you really don't even have to run a 2 QB system. You can just have like certain packages for him.
Yeah, that's more of the Taysom role.
Right.
It was never a 2 QB system with the Saints, but Taysom would get his playing time regardless.
Yeah, Jane Daniels is gonna have to have some kind of role, because I don't see why he would transfer and stay in fall camp and all that if he wasn't guaranteed some sort of playing time. So it's just kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, that may be the case. I feel like he may have some kind of role.
Yeah.
But I I feel like Miles Brennan came back for a reason, and I feel like him and Brian Kelly have probably talked, and he's going to get the nod week 1.
Yeah.
But it's going to be one of those things to where if you don't play how you're supposed to play week 1 or week 2, then, you know, Nussey or Jaden Daniels is going to come in and replace you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it may be a thing to where, you know, Nussey and Jaden Daniels are getting first-team reps to cause some competition for Miles Brennan.
Like a little spark.
Maybe it's like, you know, like your job isn't locked in. Like, you're still going to have to earn it.
Yeah. And, I mean, reports have been that Miles Brennan didn't work like the other ones did over the off season, so it's like almost like a punishment for him, you know, like kind of like what you were saying, like give him some competition, even though he might be the dude from day one. I don't know it, but regardless, you know, whoever is the starter is gonna be the best one.
Yeah.
You know, that it's nice.
I mean, this
to
is
have.
It's all speculation right now.
Yeah.
No
It was
one
only
really knows.
It was only week 1 of fall camp.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that can happen between now and then. So
Right.
Yeah, it's not really a good look for Brennan, you know, if he's being lazy out there and not participating, and, you know, even if it's voluntary, I feel like he should be giving it his all, especially with the new coach. I mean, It's not like Ed Orgeron's there and just going to start him just because he's been there.
Everybody's got to prove themselves to the new staff.
Yeah, but I do like that Nussmeier is going to be a redshirt freshman. You know, some people were upset that he didn't play in the bowl game, that, you know, half our team was out, but, I mean, that was really a good move, you know.
For sure.
I mean, taking that redshirt year.
yeah,
So.
there would be absolutely no reason for him to play in a meaningless bowl game and lose a whole year that he could have playing
over
for.
one game.
Yeah, I saw a ton of people on Tiger droppings complaining that, you know, he didn't play, but, you know, when you really look at it, it's not like that was a real game anyways. I mean, half our team was out. It didn't matter if we won or lost. So it was, yeah.
How about them Saints though, man? Took the L week 1.
It's preseason.
That's
but
rough. To the Falcons.
No, it's
Texans.
Texans.
Oh shit, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it's preseason. You know, I liked a lot of what I saw. I think obviously Ian Book can't be a starter in the league right now, and he played for pretty much the whole 4 quarters. You know, Andy Dalton got the first drive and, you know, drove down the field, got a touchdown. But
hey,
I
that could maybe give us hope for Brian Kelly. I mean, he had a dude like Ian. He had Ian Book, and they were successful.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I liked what I saw on defense a lot. I think we flew to the ball. You know, until the last drive, they really couldn't do anything.
Minutes.
Yeah. And I'm not, you know, some people are going to take the game and be like, oh, you know, this is going to be a bad year, but it's preseason week 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's every
know.
preseason. I mean, every preseason that we started, you know, 1-3 or 2-2 or whatever it may have been. In the regular season, we turned out to be 12-4 and 11-5. So I mean, preseason really doesn't show you anything but your depth on your roster.
Yeah, and I mean, historically, you can look at like Super Bowl winners, and they almost every year have like one win in the preseason.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Ravens. They've won 21 straight in the preseason, and what have they done in the regular season?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean,
just about as much as the Saints have. All right.
No.
Yeah.
Like, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah. First off, I don't think Ian Book is a NFL quarterback.
No.
And he shouldn't be on a 53-man roster. But, you know, I get, you know, if we want to keep 3 quarterbacks, why not? But I feel like there's still better options than, you know, paying Ian Book to suck on our roster. I did like what Chase Hansen did out there. You know, it's preseason, but he really balled out. And I didn't actually know we've had him since 2019, undrafted. He's already 29 because he went to Utah, so, you know, Mormon.
Yeah.
But I mean, he balled out for sure. He had the interception, a couple sacks. You know, he was all over the field. So I did like seeing that. You know, we have quality backups, and hope, you know, people like him still make the 53-man roster and just you know, keep bolstering our defense. But offense, I don't have a lot to comment about because we didn't really have any starters out there whatsoever. So maybe Olave, if he, lines up a 2 or the slot, which he probably will. But other than that, we didn't really have any starters out there. So
Yeah, defense is what really impressed me. I like Justin Evans.
yeah,
He had an interception. It was a pretty nice one. But, I mean, we have serious depth in the secondary.
yeah. So if our offense comes together, and I hope we can get a lot of them out for a preseason game. Just a couple of drives, just to see what we're working with before week 1. But it's kind of hard too, because we want to keep our team healthy, and we had a lot of health issues last season. So
I don't see Jameis or Michael Thomas playing this preseason.
yeah,
And they shouldn't. You have 2 guys coming off of big injuries. You don't. On one hand, you want them to get some game reps, but on the other, they've been in the league long enough to where they don't need that.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we looked pretty good out there. Just the offense wasn't doing anything. So, but I have a lot of confidence in our defense.
What do you think about Trevor Penning,
He's all right.
rookie
I mean,
offensive tackle?
with this first game, he was getting beat off the line a couple times, but it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
I still liked what I saw.
PFF ranked him number 1 offensive, number 1 rookie.
Yeah.
In the
I
first
feel like
week.
I honestly feel like O-line's kind of a hard position for rookies. I feel like it definitely takes some work, kind of like being a quarterback and learning the playbook. But I mean, I did like what I saw, and I like you saw the reports that he fought 3 times in practice,
Yeah.
3 days in a row in practice, and got kicked out once. But I kind of like that competitive. I can't say it.
Competitiveness.
He stumped.
Yeah. He's got grit.
How was Stingley in that game? I didn't get a
He
chance
didn't
to
play.
watch.
He
I
didn't
didn't even
play.
see him.
Really?
No, he didn't play.
You think that's because of,
Well, he was hurt a little bit, huh? Didn't he tweak his ankle or something like that? His hamstring something?
I think they're just being safe with him. Spent a number 3 pick on him.
Yeah.
You want him to. He's gonna be a starter.
Dude, did y'all see that video of him in that drill, like picking off that?
Oh
dude?
yeah.
Yeah.
That reaction time was insane. Like, he didn't know which way he was going either. Like, he just flew to that side.
He legit already has some of the best tools in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
He just has to put his whole game together. But
I mean, we saw what he was able to do 3 years ago as a freshman,
yeah,
and he's only progressed. I mean, I know the NFL is a different monster, but
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see him.
If he would have played all 3 years without any injuries or anything, I think
Yeah.
people would be looking at him as a top 3 all-time cornerback
Yeah.
in college football history.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was that good as a
For sure.
freshman.
Yeah. I mean, it says something whenever you early enroll in a college, your senior year of high school, and you're already considered the best defensive player on the team.
Yeah,
And he
On
would
a
have
national
started.
on a national championship caliber team. That's
Yeah.
insane.
He would have started if he could.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, the bowl game. Yeah, that's with like 2 weeks of practice. Not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
that.
Well, speaking of preseason, what do y'all think of Deshaun Watson's first game?
Ass.
Fans.
Hot ass.
One for 5 for 7 yards. That's all he did.
Well, they did have a few drops. There were a few. His first pass was completely offline, but other than that, I seen probably 2 or 3 of them were drops.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, so he attempted 5 times, and 3 of them were drops.
No incidents with no trainers, huh?
Don't think so.
Yeah.
Might have gotten a massage after that game, with all those chants.
What about his comment before he got on the bus, saying
What'd he say?
that he was sorry for his actions, and I mean, to me it seemed like he was admitting that he did wrong.
yeah, it's a little too late for that.
Yeah.
buddy,
Well, when the Sue L. Robinson ruling came in with the 6 games, she said that part of him not having any remorse went into her recommendation for a 6-game suspension. But I don't know. I don't know why he's timing it like that, where he just wants to apologize all of a sudden. But it doesn't matter.
Maybe since the
at this
NFL is
point.
appealing.
Yeah, but I feel like he's going to get a year anyways. I feel like
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he
I feel
needs
like
a
that's what
year
it's going
minimum.
towards,
Yeah,
so.
he also came out and said he would be fine, or he would accept an 8-game suspension and a $10,000 fine.
He would accept that.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
said I will accept that.
Yeah,
so.
like there's a negotiation or
Yeah.
something for his punishment. It's dumb.
Dude,
You know,
$10,000 is nothing to him. That's
Like
literally like 50 cents to us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he was paying more than that for a massage.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was kind of funny seeing him out there, even though it was a couple drives. Seeing all the Jaguars fans booing at him constantly. And, you sick fuck. Yeah.
you know he hears
Chant.
that. You know he hears that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves everything that comes to him, you know?
That's actually one of the only reasons I want to see him play this season, because I just want to see him go into every NFL stadium and get booed out of the building.
Oh, he's going to get
So,
heckled. Even
yeah.
next year when he comes back. I mean, it's not just going to go away after he comes back from a suspension.
Yeah. And,
It's still going to happen.
Browns play at the Saints this year, right?
I'm not
think-
sure.
I think they do.
Yeah. Well, if he ended up somehow playing in that game, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, that would be rough.
There's a few games on the Browns schedule where he probably doesn't want to play, even if he's not suspended. So, I guess we'll see with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's actually going to play this year. I think he's going to get a 1-year suspension and probably come back next year.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think we forgot to mention in the beginning, for everybody that's listening, at the end we're going to announce our jersey giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
stay tuned.
Make sure to stay tuned.
Don't
so
turn
you
it
can
off.
see.
Yeah, and we
please.
Don't
we
do
picked
it.
from everybody that followed the rules on Twitter and Facebook. That's where we were running the giveaway at.
Yeah.
So whoever it is, we're gonna DM you on a social platform and ask you what jersey you'd like, and we'll announce it after we release the podcast.
Yeah.
We're not gonna DM you. You have to DM the page to let us know that you listened, because that's the final step in winning.
Yeah. And you have to give us a timestamp of like exactly where we said it.
No, not that. You just if your name is announced, just DM the page and we'll get your jersey
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, and I guess we'll redraw, if they don't respond in, a few days.
You
whatever.
have 72 hours from the time this podcast is posted.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Deshaun Watson. So I guess that's a good segue into the NFL suspensions for this year and forward. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, that won't
Probably
be until next year.
Yeah, probably 2023. The Deshaun Watson case it's almost like a first for the NFL, because this is the first time they went with an outside source for the punishment. It's always been through the commissioner, Goodell. So that's why, you'll see like the memes about like, DeAndre Hopkins takes PEDs and he gets 6 games, and then Deshaun Watson messes with 24 women and he only gets 6 games.
But what about the marijuana one? The for Josh Gordon?
Well, see that, yeah, it's just about the time.
Yeah, you can argue that times have changed since
It has.
that has
And the rules
happened.
have changed.
They let the players smoke in the off season now. From like the day the off season starts until training camp, they don't get tested anymore.
Oh, okay.
So they can smoke all they want up into that first day of training camp. And if he would have done that like now, I mean maybe like 4 games. But that's the thing about the suspensions now, is that it's all going through an outside source now. It's no more just Goodell like, I get to pick exactly what how many games or how many seasons or however. So that's why it's different now, if you didn't know. And
Well, what do you see Kamara's suspension being whenever that does happen?
anyway, I think 4 to 6. Well, it depends on how the trial goes. If he can get off without like
any criminal charges.
any criminal charges, I mean maybe
2.
I see
maybe,
it being like 2 to 3 games. I mean, it wasn't that huge of a deal.
And especially after the Deshaun Watson thing, I think they're going to start getting a little lower.
Yeah. I mean, I get you want to, keep the integrity in the league, but if you suspend a guy for 6 games that sexually assaulted 24 women, but you take a guy who bet on his own team whenever he was injured, not playing in the game, couldn't change the outcome of the game, he gets suspended a whole year. Like, it doesn't really correlate. And I get Roger Goodell didn't decide Deshaun's punishment, but it just shows kind of the lack of structure.
Yeah, it is a little whack. I completely agree with Ridley getting a year for betting on games in his own league, but at the same time, that means Deshaun should have initially off the bat got more than that.
At least
he should have got 2.
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah, that's the problem with the NFL. A lot of times they respond solely off of public outcry. I was thinking about Ray Rice, a few years back. He initially only got suspended 2 games for hitting his wife, and it was a fact that he did it. But it wasn't till 2 months later when TMZ came out with some video, with a different angle and a longer video of exactly what happened. Then they decide
dragging her out.
Yeah, then they decide to suspend him 12 games instead of 2. I feel like you can't just keep reversing and all that.
They had to know all of what happened when they were initially suspended.
Well, to the NFL, it's all about the money. It's all about the views and everything. So that may have something to do with why they're not dealing with many of the situations anymore.
Yeah.
Because they don't want backlash on them. They want to see how fans react to somebody else and then react to it. We'll give him 6 games, fans go crazy, and now they're going to appeal and try to make it longer.
Yeah. It's all about making them look good.
Yeah.
Make people want to watch the league.
Yeah, I just still don't get why they brought, someone from the outside, a judge to recommend a suspension, and it's like they're not even going to listen to it, because the same day it was reported that they were going to appeal, right after Sue L. Robinson's 6-game recommendation came out.
Well, I think it was more. It's in place for like smaller situations, like the Kamara situation. That's kind of what it's for. But when it's such a high-profile case as Deshaun Watson, they don't. If the judge isn't going to give them a year, then they're going to have to. Yeah. So that's where they have to step in after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then preseason week 1 recap. There's a lot of guys that look good, some bad. I'm gonna start off with a rookie, George Pickens, wide receiver for the Steelers. He's the classic 2nd, 3rd round guy they always pick, who always ends up going off. He only had 3 receptions for 43 yards, but he had that. I'm sure everybody's seen it. Where he mossed that dude in the end zone.
Yeah.
He, before last year in college, he was projected to be one of the top 3 wide receivers off the board in a loaded receiver class, and he has major character concerns, and he got hurt. It kind of knocked him down a little bit, but just even off of that first week preseason game, you can tell that dude is going to be a Pro Bowler
NFL
eventually.
Young boy. You seen that? You seen that clip?
Yeah, he's an NFL young boy.
They asked him why he was standing like that, and he showed him his pose, and he said it's because he's NFL young boy.
Yeah. He's gonna get arrested a few times in his career, most likely, but he's also gonna be like a Pro Bowler almost every year. So.
It seems like the Steelers find many guys like that.
Yeah, they do.
I kind of wish sportsbook, like all the sports books, would come out with a bet. If he gets suspended within his first 5 years, because I would definitely place that bet.
Yeah.
If coming out the draft you have character concerns, it's almost 100% that you're going to get suspended at some point. And it'll probably be like battery or something like that. So
a rookie that really impressed me in the preseason would be Jaquan Brisker, out of Penn State. He was a 2nd round pick from Penn State. Now he plays for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually traded Khalil Mack to have that pick in the draft. So essentially they replaced him, and he actually had a drive yesterday where he completed a whole 3 and out by himself, 3 consecutive plays in a row.
Yeah,
pretty good.
It's going viral.
Yeah. So he's definitely panning out to be a pretty decent 2nd round pick.
Yeah,
for sure. Left a good first impression.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I want to go off of what I was just saying about the Steelers receivers real fast. Since 2009, they've drafted Mike Wallace in the 3rd round, Emmanuel Sanders in the 3rd round, Antonio Brown in the 6th round, Martavis Bryant in the 4th, Juju in the 2nd round, James Washington in the 2nd round, Deontay Johnson in the 3rd round, George Pickens in the 3rd round. All those dudes I just named have either been Pro Bowlers or they've gotten votes to be in the Pro Bowl. And they've all been after the 1st round guys.
Right.
So George Pickens, he should just continue the tradition down in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Props to their scouting department, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a good organization from top to bottom. You don't really hear about, anything really going on with their front office or, coaches or anything like that. So they've
solid fan base.
Yeah, and they've always been pretty consistent, But yeah, one rookie I want to mention is Desmond Ridder. I did like what I saw from him, actually. I didn't know how he'd play. I didn't know if he was NFL ready, and still don't know 100%, but he had like over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first preseason game. So, seems like a pretty good pick. In what was he? He was a 3rd round pick, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so. It's good insurance for Marcus Mariota. You never know how that's going to pan out.
Yeah, and he might start. Mariota might start, but I feel like Desmond Ridder, has a good chance to eventually take over and have at least a few good years of NFL play. So not a bad pick.
Right.
The rookie that impressed me this weekend was Kenny Pickett. For the Steelers.
Was it 11 of 13?
Uh-huh.
He was 11 of 13?
He was 13 of 15.
13 of 15.
He only played in the second half, but he was 13 of 15, had 95 yards and 2 tutties. He didn't throw a pick. I want to say his QB rating was like 130 something. And I know it's just preseason, but it was definitely a good start for him.
He showed a lot because the stat line looks good, but more importantly, he knew
efficient.
he knew how to control the ball,
right?
And he led them to a win. Led them to I think it was the last second field goal, but he did everything you would want out of any quarterback.
For sure.
Held
Especially
on to the ball,
in his first NFL game.
Efficient.
Yeah.
And then I guess we're gonna move on to the free agents that are still out there. I'm gonna start with one that I think a lot of people forgot about, T.Y. Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been on the Colts, 4-time Pro Bowler, led the NFL in yards in 2016. Since 2019, he's been hurt pretty much every year. He's getting up there in age, but he's been hurt as well. Hasn't signed with anybody. He was expected to go back to the Colts, but it seems like that kind of fell through. I think he's probably on the verge of being retired, but I think he could still be a legit wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 type of guy. Mm-hmm. And I think, Packers, Ravens, even the Chiefs, if he wants to go to a Super Bowl contender, they could all sign him. And he would be a pretty, I think he could be like a 700-yard guy, even at 32 years old. So I think he'll get signed before week 1.
Yeah, most likely by a team that could go to the Super Bowl or has a chance in the playoffs. At that age, you're not signing for money. You're signing for a ring.
Yeah. Right.
You don't care about the money anymore. You're not going to be playing much longer.
Right. Yeah. Him and guys like my pick, which would be Cole Beasley. I feel like they're going to be signing pretty soon. And I feel like maybe at least 2 of them might sign with the Packers, honestly, or the Ravens. Those are 2 teams that come to mind that are pretty good teams, but don't have a lot of wide receiver talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Cole Beasley is probably my prime pick at wide receiver, other than like T.Y. Hilton and maybe someone like Odell. But Cole Beasley seems ready to play. He had 700 yards last year and a touchdown. It's kind of concerning that he only had 1 touchdown, but that 700 yards, it's pretty good. I feel like someone like the Ravens or Packers could definitely use him. I honestly don't know why he's not signed, other than his little vaccination scandal. But
yeah,
that's what I was about to add on. Is I don't think teams want to take on the the press for that, you know.
But is it even a big deal anymore, you know?
Honestly, not.
It's not a big deal, but to
the CDC's backed off so much with that. It's just went away.
Yeah,
They're on to a new distraction.
In the NFL world, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, you're not getting away with it. You know, they don't. That for whatever reason, it's just such a big topic in the NFL even now. If you're not vaccinated, that if they can keep their dudes who are like similar to Cole Beasley, then they're not going to sign a Cole Beasley. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some team, at least by midseason, is going to pick them up, though. You know, I mean, there's going to be injuries, and you know, someone's going to need a wide receiver, even if it's not the teams like the Ravens or Packers. Someone's going to need a wide receiver, and a few of these guys are going to go off the board. So
yeah.
Well, my free agent is kind of interesting. It's Carl Nassib. He's not a receiver. He was previously in the NFL on the active roster before he announced that he was gay.
Yeah.
Homosex.
So and I mean I find him better than a lot of players that I've seen play in the preseason. I mean, he's not worse than, you know, any practice squad guy or any second or third string guy. So what's the reason behind him not being signed? Is it, you know, locker room? Are they not comfortable in the locker room, or
it's not? I don't. You can't argue it's his playing ability. I mean, no dude is in the NFL for 4+ years and not be good.
You know that the NFL wants to promote, you know, like, you know, the whole pride and everything. But at the same time, the guys in the locker room, I feel like it's still traditional in a sense, to where they quite frankly they just don't want it in the locker room.
Yeah. And frankly, I don't want to get naked with old boys staring at me.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be an issue because it's football. You know, whatever you do outside of that, it's your life. You know, you should be supported however you want. But
I think those guys they're supportive. I don't think they bully him for it.
No,
they just don't really want that around.
But they're not comfortable with it,
right?
You know, and I'm not saying you should be or you shouldn't be or whatever, but it's just what it is in the NFL right now. They can promote it however much they want, but at the end of the day, you gotta look at it realistically.
Yeah,
they're just not comfortable.
At the end of the day, you have to put yourself in that position. Like if you're in a locker room and you're changing, and all your stuff's out there, and the dude's 2 lockers down from you, and he keeps looking over, like how would that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it shouldn't be an issue, but that's what you're saying. It's right.
I get promoting it, and I get supporting it, as you would say, but at the same time, you can't really try to support it without being in that position.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not. It's a comfort thing right now. You know, and I think in the future, it's definitely not going to be a big deal at all. But
no,
it's still,
So do y'all think that he would be on an NFL roster had he not come out publicly about his sexuality?
Well, yeah, because and it's a lot of it has to do with like the press,
right?
Because a team doesn't want to take the press for that. When it's like a second string type of guy, might start on your team, but he's not a star player.
Right.
And it's almost like I think teams feel like, why do we want to take on that press when we want the press to be like just about the team, like how we're doing.
Right.
Rather than,
it's kind of a distraction.
Yeah. It yeah. And it shouldn't be, but it is. It's just what it is now right now.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be more of an accepted thing for players to come out in the NFL until a top 10 player does it.
Right.
Because they're not just going to get cut or not signed or traded or whatever. You know, I mean, they're top 10 player, so it's not going to matter as much. And I feel like, then the second, third tier guys will be able to come out if they want to and, still stay on the team. So,
right.
But, I feel like Carl Nassib might get signed eventually. But if not this year, then I would definitely start questioning, is he being blackballed by other teams, by the NFL,
well,
what's going on.
Do y'all remember the Michael Sam situation?
Yeah.
But he, a lot of people like to point he was SEC Defensive Player of the Year, all that jazz. But realistically, he was undersized. He didn't have the technique to play in the NFL.
He didn't really prove himself in the NFL.
Yeah, and then, I mean, even then at the time, I mean, it still wasn't. There wasn't like Pride Month or anything yet. Like that wasn't a thing yet. So to be,
didn't he kiss his?
He kissed his boyfriend or husband or whoever on live TV
in the draft. Yeah,
and it's more the fact that he already wasn't gonna be like a top 3 round guy. Like he was already gonna fall to the later rounds. So then when you add that to it, it's like, let's not take the press for this. Let's not,
it's not almost like it's bad to say, but almost like it's not worth it. If he was a first round pick, top 10 pick, and then he kissed his boyfriend after he got picked 2nd overall to the Detroit Lions, then they may say that it was worth it to him.
I mean, the NFL they like to portray themselves as a entertainment organization, but it's a cutthroat business. Like they make business decisions. They don't care about people's feelings.
But I remember with the Michael Sam situation, I mean, the Rams got a lot of good PR because they drafted him, and he got his chance in the preseason, didn't play good, got cut, and then they kind of got bad PR. So it's kind of a weird situation. Why keep a player when he's not playing good just because he's gay? I mean that's all a PR move. He also got a chance in the CFL, didn't play that good, and got cut. So obviously he wasn't a pro-ready player. So I feel like it really didn't matter that he came out and all that. I feel like he would have stayed on an NFL roster regardless if he came out or not.
Yeah.
If he was really that dude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, to wrap up this segment, my free agent's gonna be Odell.
Yeah.
You could call it, basic or whatever, but he's a stud. I mean, he's dealt with injuries the past few years, but he's shown when he's on the field he can definitely be an asset to a team. I mean, I feel like he was a part of the Rams Super Bowl run for sure. I mean, I know he didn't get to finish off the game, but he definitely helped them get there. I see him signing with the Bills or the Bears. That's the 2 teams I see him really going to. As a Ravens fan, I want to say that I see him going there, but I really don't. We never spend money on receiver. We put it other places, and really the offense that we run, it's revolved around running backs and tight ends. I mean, receivers don't really excel in Baltimore. So
yeah, if he's ready by November or December, I mean, there's 100% chance he's going to get signed.
Oh yeah,
and I wouldn't even be surprised if the Rams re-signed him. I mean, Sean McVay's even came out and said they would still love to have him back at some point.
So what is the holdup at this point? Is it him or
it's him? I think it's more like he has a bunch of money. He knows he'll get signed whenever he wants. So
just rehabbing, chilling.
It's almost a benefit to him to kind of do what he did last year. I mean, he was on the Browns and got traded, but now he can pick where he goes when he sees how the teams are doing. So if the Bills are, I don't know, 5-2, he'll look at them and be like, hey, they're doing really good this year. They need a little help in the wide receiver room. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
So and I mean, he's also recovering from injury, so it's just kind of like, why sign with the team when I don't know if they're gonna do good?
Yeah.
When I can just recover, get fully healthy, and then go to.
He just wants to win now.
Yeah, I think he's kind of at that point in his career now. It's all about the rings,
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, like, a lot of players have to request, with their teams, if they want to work out or, rehab or whatever, outside the facility or out of state or whatever. So he kind of has the freedom to really do whatever he wants right now too, and just, work with who he wants to work with, and when he's ready, he'll sign. So it's pretty good plan for him. I mean, I think he knows he'll definitely get signed regardless. I mean, I feel like all of us know that. So he'll be back November, December, and probably on a Super Bowl contender. So
yeah, I guess that's the luxury of being able to come back at that time, is by then you have a pretty good idea of who's going to be in the running and who's not.
And being such a big name, I mean,
Yeah.
again, like he knows he's going to get signed. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to want him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty of teams that's already contacted him saying, they're interested when he's ready. So I'm sure he'll take a couple short meetings and then decide. But, yeah, he'll be back.
Well, all right. I guess it's time to announce the...
No, not yet. We got the MVPs.
Dark horse MVP.
We're doing it at the
okay.
end, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll hold off just a little bit. So they
I got a little too excited.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
ready
since
to announce.
Jeremy is ready to give someone a jersey.
since you had a little outburst there, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, why don't we just announce it now?
No. Let's go with dark horse MVP.
Okay.
Let's keep them waiting.
Well, for my dark horse MVP, I think it's going to be an LSU boy.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
I like it.
I don't think it's going to be a QB. I mean, I wouldn't say it's beef. I think it's a little friendly competition between him and Jamar Chase about who's better and who took whose moves. So my dark horse MVP would have to be Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to have over 2,000 yards and is going to be extremely dominant.
I mean, he's solid. His first 2 years in the NFL, 1,400 yards, 1,600 yards.
Yep.
Did you see what he came out and said? I think it was last week.
Yep.
About Cooper Kupp.
He said now he understands why Cooper Kupp was, open so much in that offense.
Yeah, the Wes Phillips OC.
Yep.
He was the passing game coordinator for the Rams. So
I'm excited to see that.
I think he has a legit shot at 2,000, first receiver in NFL history to hit 2,000 in a season.
If not MVP, I think Offensive Player of the Year for sure.
I feel like that's more likely, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's hard for a receiver to get MVP, but I mean,
yeah, especially in his situation, because we don't know what the Vikings are really going to be.
Right.
They might completely suck, honestly.
well, that's why it's dark horse.
Yeah. But I just think of someone like Cooper Kupp that basically had he was 50 yards off from 2,000 yards and had 16 touchdowns, and he didn't win it. So I feel like it's really his quarterback award now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
But I would love to see him win it.
There has been a receiver to win it, right?
I believe Jerry Rice did at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see it again.
Yeah, it's not
I hope we
impossible.
do. I'm tired of seeing quarterbacks win it.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically know who's going to win just by who's
The best
top quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna kind of follow the trend of MVPs. My pick is Josh Allen. He's obviously already good, but he has a lot of motivation after what happened last year in the Chiefs game. It's not how anyone wants to go out. He's got a solid group of receivers, and he's gonna be slinging it. He's definitely got something to prove. He's mad. He's hungry. I think he's gonna show out.
Yeah. Just looked up the stat. No receiver has ever won the MVP, so Jefferson could be a first,
Yeah.
My dark horse is a very dark horse. Matt Ryan
What?
for the Colts.
Oh no.
That's a hot take right there.
It is kind of a hot take, but my thinking here is that last year he threw for a little bit under 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, but that was on a terrible Falcons team. Russell Gage was his wide receiver one. He's okay. He's an above average receiver, but then after that, they had Kyle Pitts rookie year. Had to
Zucchini.
had to feed the ball to them. Still put up almost 4,000, and he goes to a situation with the Colts where he has a great run game and Jonathan Taylor and Hines, where that opens up the field for passing. Because if you have to worry about Taylor running it down your throat 25 times a game, you're going to be focused on that.
Yeah.
And then
Stacking the box.
you have a legit receiver one now in Michael Pittman. You drafted Alec Pierce, who's a deep threat. You have Paris Campbell, who's a deep threat. And you got one of the best running back receiver combos in the backfield. Nyheim Hines. I mean, I think last year he had over like 700 yards receiving with Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
So I think, and the Colts are in a terrible division to where they could easily win it. So I think if they win the division and Matt Ryan puts up pretty good numbers like I think he will, he could get the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you already know who my dark horse is, but I'm going with the Derek Carr hype train, and I have a pretty good case for it actually.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
All right.
So he had to deal with his wide receiver one getting arrested last year and cut. John Gruden got fired halfway through the season. Other players, got arrested on that team. So that
Darren Waller wasn't healthy all year.
Yeah, so that team was a hot mess, and he still threw for 4,800 yards last year. He only had 23 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, so definitely not a great season, touchdown to interception ratio wise. But they add Devontae Adams, they still have Hunter Renfrow, they have Darren Waller, and they have Josh McDaniels coming in. So I feel like this could be a crazy breakout year for him. I mean, I would not be surprised if he had 40 touchdowns this year and only a few interceptions. So, I mean, he's a good quarterback, and I feel like you could even make a case right now that he could be top 10 right now. So not top 5 like right now, but top 10 for sure. So Derek Carr for MVP, baby.
That's a real hot take.
Hotter than hot.
Bro, and him and Devontae Adams are like best buds. So
yeah,
Devontae Adams is going to have 1,500 yards.
Derek Carr owes Devontae Adams a car.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, you can announce it now.
All right, now for the jersey giveaway.
Can we get a drum roll?
That I've been waiting so long for, and I'm so pleased to announce because she's a Saints fan. It's Kimberly Bro.
Congrats, Miss Kimberly.
Congrats.
If you're listening, you can contact us, and if we don't hear from you, we'll shoot you a DM or a private message or whatever it may be. And if you don't respond in 72 hours, we're going to have to pull a different name from the drawing.
Yeah.
So don't wait. Don't wait. Claim your jersey now.
Yeah. Free jersey.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and we have a shout out.
We can't forget.
We received a shout out from the Long in the Boot podcast. Great podcast, honestly. They talk about pretty much whatever they want to talk about, but I mean, they're super entertaining.
It's entertaining. They're very, very intellectual.
Yeah,
they're
very smart.
Two of my favorite all-time teachers.
Yeah, and they're another local podcast, and kind of I would say for all of us an inspiration for us to start our own podcast because they've done it successfully already.
Oh yeah,
and so we want to give a shout out to them. They're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I believe they're on YouTube. Yeah. Go like their Facebook page, Long in the Boot.
Yeah, but yeah, kind of harping on Chris's point. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they were all of our favorite teachers. I think we all had them at some point. So it's definitely cool to get a shout.
Y'all remember meditating in Miss Long's class?
That was the best.
Yeah, it was good times.
But yeah, just shout out to them, and
we appreciate the support.
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll tune in very soon. We'll keep you all updated on when the next podcast is coming out.
Yep. But good first episode.
Yeah. Spread the word. We're it's pretty much going to be like this every time. We're gonna just talk about whatever's going on, mostly NFL.
More giveaways too.
Yeah. More giveaways
coming.
Sure.
We're gonna talk about a lot of fantasy football once the season actually starts.
Yeah, we're all big fans of fantasy football. Yeah, super competitive.
Two-time defending champ here.
Yeah.
So if you're into fantasy football and you need some helpful tips, we may do a few podcasts on fantasy football tips. Just let us know if that's what y'all would like to hear.
I mean, it's at your own discretion too.
We're not experts.
Take it how you want.
If you listen to us and it goes bad, I mean, that's kind of your fault.
Yeah, it's not on us.
But if you listen to us and you do good, then
Yeah,
because
It's
of
because
us.
of us.
I mean, yeah, and I think we'd all like recommendations too if people want to hear about certain topics, because we definitely love to cover them. So, they can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
TikTok.
We have an email, huh?
Yeah, our
Email,
Yeah.
our email is Callin UR because Blake did not put the actual word "your," so Callin UR pod at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send in any questions. I mean, even if
Comments, concerns.
Ideas.
We can take the heat.
if it's not about football, I mean, we'll probably still talk about it.
Basically, we have an account on like every social media, so it's not hard to find us. So just message us and tell us what y'all think and what recommendations on topics y'all would like to hear. So,
All right. Well, good first pod.
All right, guys. Well, we'll
See
see
y'all.
y'all again.
We're out.
See y'all.
peace.